they're adding a little bit of lard. Tamale masa has traditionally lard in it, but you can use schmaltz, you can use coconut oil, you can use clarified butter. We use vegetable shortening for my business for our tamales just because a lot of people are adverse to lard. That's a matter of personal choice. But it needs a little bit of, just like pastry dough needs a little bit of butter, it needs a little bit of fat in there to give it that kind of soft, airy lightness to it. A tortilla has kind of got that chew and that kind of roughness to it. A tamale doesn't. It's a soft creaminess like grits, but without that heavy grittiness.
And how do you know then when you've had enough lard in there?
The consistency should be it shouldn't be like a cake batter.
Okay.
It should be more like a fondant, really. You can work with it at any stage.
We found out we disagree.
You can really work at it.
I'm the default because he knows what he's talking about.
My point is that you can work on it. You can work on it any way. However way it comes out, as long as it sticks together within your husk, you can work with it. Now, the end result, like for instance, in here, I'm gonna borrow one of these spoons. In here we have a more viscous and liquid one. I would call this more almost like a batter consistency. Now this will work because I made some grit style ones last night that were just like this. My end product though was a lot more loose. It wasn't as tight as you would get from probably one like this. And this is what it's more traditional where I'm from. It's a very smooth. You press at it with the back of a spoon and it leaves a nice clear line. And that's what the traditional masa one, because in Mexico we're smearing very quick. Where I'm from in Mexico, Puebla, we're smearing very quickly. And I'll even do one real quick because I have a little bit of pork here. So I'm gonna do a demo with both of those, so you can see the difference between the masas. Now we boil these to make it easier. It makes it a lot more supple. All right, here's my.
Always important to have mason jars of lard.
Not very supple. Now, my mom said to me when I was a little kid that there's a way that the leaf wants to go and there's a way that the leaf doesn't want to go. So if you look at that, it has its natural curl because it was wrapped around the corn. So if I try to fight it by going the other way, the whole time it's in there, it wants to, and your stuff's going to ooze out. So do me a favor, folks. Do not fight the leaf. It's going to win. Now, here's your classic hoja de tamal. And we're going to divide it into 2/3. Top 2/3 is where the masa is going to go. Bottom third is going to be for our bend, so all our fun doesn't slide out.
And if you used fresh corn husks, you wouldn't have to boil it, right?
No, you wouldn't. Thank you. And it would have a better flavor. And you'd be saving the environment.
It's hard from most sweet corn I've found to get nice sized husks.
They tend to tear too.
You get tear, and even then
you can stack them.
They're,
oh yeah,
you can when you get torn ones. Don't be afraid to
just layer them up.
Yeah.
Now this masa, I'm sorry. This masa, when I close it, you'll see it leaves an imprint of itself on there. Now even this one's a little wet for what I would use, but see how it forms really nicely, and you can see the lines on there. That's generally where you want to go. So I'm going to re-smear that out. Now we'll do it this way here. We'll do it mom's way. What you want to do is you want to go wide because you want to make sure that your filling is in there. What we're going to do is basically we're going to make an uncooked tortilla inside of the thing. Then we're going to take a little bit of filling. Now Kevin mentioned this, and I'm glad he did. The filling is it's like a little something that you get in there, okay? It's like you're on a dinosaur hunt and you found a bone, okay? Don't think that the whole thing's gonna be meat.
Yeah, we're a more general idea is we talk. People tend to think of pizza is all about the toppings. Tamales is all about the fillings, and there's a million things that are like that. I used the example of sausage and sauerkraut, where traditionally sauerkraut would be the star and the sausage would be the garnish. And now people think of a big vat of sausage with a little sauerkraut mixed in. But they think of pizza as all about the toppings and the crust, nothing. And so I like to think of tamales or pizza as like it's all about the masa.
It's the star of the show.
And then you get this little bit of a treat, this little garnish on the inside. It should be delicious if you didn't put anything inside at all.
So what I did is I had both of those sides touch, so they closed around. You see how it's encased the meat? I left a little peeking out there. So it's encased the meat, just in case. And then here's the thirds. Boom, this is where the big money comes in. We're gonna take this and squeeze, 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 squeeze. We're sealing the bottom. Fold, and now at the top, you can see my meat, right? I'm sorry, the tamales meat, pardon. So what we do is we just scoop a little bit of dough right in there and pinch down, and now you've got yourself a picture-perfect tamale. Now this is with this masa. I'm gonna use a little bit of.
Plain pork?
I'm not sure how we can prepare
This is
but it's not just
a riff off carnitas. This actually is pork shoulders, a ridiculous amount of spices because I happen to do that. A bunch of sliced up oranges, and it's poached in fat like they traditionally do carnitas. So there was like 2 quarts of fat put in the roaster with these 2 shoulders, and they were slowly poached for about 8 hours last night. Until it got to about 280 degrees inside, just like pulling a pork out of a smoker. So it's falling apart. And that was the one topping. I have some lamb that came from the farmer down there, and Blaine did some chicken. So we have 3 different filling options. That's a really liquid.